Last year, Americans spent billions trying to escape depression, loneliness, and discouragement. Billions. Our society is awash in self-help and recovery programs. Every year, the self-help section of book sales increase. The cults teach self-actualization and self-realization. But in spite of all that, Americans face the onslaught of a regular visit from depression or loneliness or discouraging in its varying forms. Even we as Christians face the same. Is there any recovery program that works? Yes, God's recovery program. In His Word, He gives us a plan of attack. And just in closing, briefly stated, how does God's Word help us to be quickened or revived? David gives his own testimony in Psalm 119. He states his battle plan for overcoming depression in 4 clear couplets. And this is how we overcome depression that comes from discouragement and loneliness. And this is from Psalm 119, 25 to 32. Number 1, we have to confess our condition to the right person. So you write, confess our condition. You know, we confess it to all the wrong people. We go to people and we say, oh, I'm just so down, It shouldn't start there, to the right person. What did David say? He says in verse 25 and 26, my soul cleaveth unto the dust, quicken me according to your word. Who's he talking to? The wall? His support group? His mother? God, please. Secondly, search for strength in the right place. Search for strength in the right place. And let me read to you Psalm 119:27, because he just tells us, make me understand the way of your precepts. I'll meditate on your wonderful works. My soul melts from heaviness. Strengthen me according to your word. You know what he says? He says you got to look for strength. Search for strength in the right place. And the right place is in the word and from the God of the word. Thirdly, turn to truth as the right priority. And again, the Psalm 119 tells us in verse 30, I have chosen the way of truth. A friend of ours from Grace Church wrote a great book. It's called Loving God with All Your Heart. Her name is Elizabeth George, and she's just, I read her book, and the only thing I remember about it, which was so good, was where she said what it means to believe the truth. Did you know we live in such a world where we believe things that aren't true? Someone doesn't smile at us in church, and we go, they're upset at me. We don't get a Christmas card from someone. They don't like us anymore. We didn't get a present this year from our birthday. They're upset at us. You know what I mean? We just live in this world of, we're trying to figure out what that look meant, or what that facial, when they move their face like that, what were they thinking about me? Or, I've done this many times, and I try not to do it. I used to point a lot like this, and people come up to me and say, why did you point at me when you said adultery? And it went like that. And they come up to me afterward. I've had people, even here, when I look at them and catch them in their eye, they think I meant them. And they go, but I haven't done that. And I said, it's just, I have to look at something, and I don't know of anybody particular that's in adultery, or else I would talk to them, but we live in this world of untruth, and a lot of our discouragement comes from not believing the truth. I mean, if someone hasn't said they're mad at you, don't think they are. And I won't even get into rumors. I mean, you remember the rabbi that was slandered by a young man, and the young man finally repented of it after he maligned this rabbi's character all over, and he came to the rabbi and he says, will you forgive me? He said, yes, son. And he took him out to the edge of a windy valley hill, and he took feathers, and he tore open the pillow and let the feathers all fly, and he dropped the pillowcase down, and he said to the boy, when you collect all those feathers, you'll be forgiven. Now, that's not biblical forgiveness, but what he's saying is when you spread something that's not true, or that you're not sure whether it's true, you can't get it back. And we have to be careful about that. So we need to turn to truth as the right priority. And finally, we need to hold to hope as the right perspective. And what I just shared with you, the hope that God offers, the strong hope, the fresh hope, God's hope that's just personally for us, we need to hold on to hope as the right priority. My encouragement to you is this. Jeremiah went through what all of us are going to go through. He went through broken health, emotional weakness. He felt trapped. He felt out of touch. He felt left behind. He was anxious. He was sad. He was weak physically. And he felt hopeless. And what was his solution? verse 22 and 23, and I hope you have them starred and underlined and marked. Through the Lord's mercies, we are not consumed because of His compassions. They fail not. They are new every morning, and here we go. Great is thy faithfulness.